Look at all those chickens. I'm teaching most of the day anyway, but I've got like a couple of hours in the after. Oh no, I gotta practice. Love you too. Bye. Oh, sorry, didn't see you there. What's up, fan geeks? Alright, so I started recording and then I got a phone call. And I just realized I'm wearing the exact same thing that I wore 2 videos ago, but whatever, this is not a fashion channel, this is a music channel. For the OGs of this channel, do you remember when I started and I had like a buzz cut and a mohawk, and now it's this long, luscious... Anyway, this is not a hair channel, this is a music channel, and I'm going to be talking to you today about how to be a good principal clarinetist, or a principal wind player, or a section leader. It really goes, the things that I'm going to talk about here really go for any instrument group, but since this is a clarinet channel, everything is going to be from the viewpoint of a clarinetist. And this is a continuation of my last video, which is how to be a good supporting player. So a good second clarinetist. This is how to be a section leader. And it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. As the leader of your section, you're not just responsible for keeping your section together, but all of the winds together. And also all of the orchestra together. It is a great honor to be playing first clarinet and a huge responsibility. So let's get you ready to play principal clarinet. The first step of being a good section leader is to be extremely prepared, which is pretty much the one point that I'm really trying to get into your head, is you need to practice. You need to know your part backwards and forwards. Really only forwards, but you need to know it really, really well. The way that you do this is not only by practicing and knowing all the right notes to play at the correct dynamics, but you also need to listen to it and know what it sounds like. Because when it comes time for a tempo change or a dynamic contrast to be made, you need to be on the ball and lead by example. I'm getting riled up. You really want to be the strongest player you can possibly be. And you also want to play with strength, like in terms of volume. You want to play a little bit louder than you normally would because all of the solos are going to be yours. And you need to play those solos extremely well from the first rehearsal. Even if it doesn't quite go as planned, you need to appear as if you are prepared to play your solo. The second thing you want to do, aside from practicing the crap out of your music, is to get there early. If rehearsal starts at 7 o'clock and the downbeat is at 7 o'clock, you need to get there with enough time to warm up, get your instrument in tune, put your music in the correct order, set up all the instruments you need. If you're playing bass clarinet, you need time to set that up. If you're playing other clarinets, you need time to set everything up, play them all, and get them in tune. As a clarinetist, you tend to be in the back of the orchestra, and you need to be able to see the conductor from where you are. So that might mean moving your seat to the left or to the right, and if you can't see, because the flute player happens to be a really, really tall gentleman, and you happen to be a very small human, not speaking from experience at all, don't be afraid to ask the flute player to move a little bit, like, hey, can you just move a little bit to the right, please? Thank you, I'm tiny. Anything you need to do in order for you to see the conductor, you need to do before it starts. Because it's really awkward to start and then the conductor goes to cue you and he can't see you. You want to be able to be seen and not just like a, oh, hey, I'm over here. Can you see me now? You need to be with the conductor all the time. You want to also raise your stand so that you can see the conductor just above your music, because you don't want to be looking down. You need to be able to see the conductor. So the way you do that is you raise your stand maybe a little bit higher than you normally would if you were practicing by yourself, so that you can actually see the conductor visually with your peripheral. The third thing you need to do is pay attention to intonation. And as principal clarinetist, you want to match with the bassoon player next to you, the oboe player diagonally from you, and the flute player directly in front of you. if you're playing with an orchestra. For wind ensemble, it's a little bit different. You want to be in tune with the flute section in front of you, the bassoon section next to you, the saxophones all the way down the line. You know, depending on where you are, you need to be listening across the orchestra for intonation. And you also need to be in tune with your own section. Now, technically, as I said in my last video, the second clarinetist has to tune to you. So if I'm sitting principal and if I'm really sharp, the second clarinetist has to match my intonation. Those are the rules of the orchestra. However, don't be a jerk about it and just be in tune. Play in tune, and the second clarinet player will play in tune with you, because the second clarinet player has to match you. So if you're in tune with everyone else around you, the second clarinet player will match you, and then everyone will be in tune and everyone will be happy. The fourth thing to keep in mind is that you are a section leader. You are the leader, so lead by example. This means a couple of things. Always listen to the conductor. Always be paying attention in rehearsals. So if you're doing something else and the conductor says, okay, we're starting from measure 53, here we go, boom, and you're like, I don't know, on your phone, you're not going to come in the right spot if you come in at all, and then you're sitting around, you're like looking around, just being like, and then you have to whisper to the bassoon player next to you, like, hey, where are we? And it's just, it hinders the entire rehearsal. Also, put this on silent in your case 5 feet away from you. You do not need this during rehearsal. If you are on your phone during rehearsal, I'm just going to say there is a swear word coming, so if you're underage, maybe turn the volume down. Having your phone out in rehearsal is basically like saying fuck you to the conductor. It means you don't respect what they're saying. You don't respect the rehearsal time because you're on Facebook. No, we don't need that. I mean, all your friends are in orchestra anyway, so who are you going to text? Rant is over. Number 5 kind of goes along with what I was saying earlier about intonation. Sorry, I had my vitamins this morning and I am just full of energy. It could have also been the chocolate that I had before I filmed this. And it's about listening across the entire orchestra. Not just for intonation or like dynamic contrast to make sure that you're being heard in the parts where you need to be heard and quieter in the parts where another section needs to be heard, but it's also about listening to where your part fits in. If it's a solo part and it's marked piano, you need to play louder than piano in order. I'm trying to make a point about not being on cell phones. Playing in an ensemble is all about balance. If all of the instruments are playing super loud, nothing's going to come through. So you want to be sure that you're playing at the appropriate dynamic, and that your not just intonation but articulation matches those around you, which I talked more about in my last video. So definitely check out my last video, because a lot of the points that I'm bringing up still apply to the principal when you're playing second clarinet. So definitely watch both videos if you want to get like a big picture about how to actually play in an ensemble. Just don't be on your phone! Alright, the next thing, I don't know what number we're on. I don't know if I've been saying numbers or... Anyway, the next thing that you want to remember is kind of goes along with setting an example. And stop playing when the conductor cuts off. I said this in my last video, but it also applies here. Stop playing when the conductor cuts off. Let's just repeat this one more time with me. Ready? Stop playing when the conductor what? Cuts off. I'd be really interested to know who actually did that with me. Let me know in the comments. The next thing you can do as principal is talk to your section. And I don't mean turning and being like, yo, can we play more staccato in here? I mean, finding a point of the rehearsal where it is appropriate to maybe lean over and just be like, hey, we need to play a little more staccato, like over here. Cool. All right. End of story. That took like maybe 3 seconds. Just a little, hey, by the way, F sharp right here. We need to match. So you played an F natural. Okay. Don't be a jerk about it, obviously. But like, if you're noticing that, you know, articulation isn't matching, or like if someone's playing the wrong notes, if someone's playing in the wrong spot or coming in a beat too early, or, you know, whatever, like And they can say the same thing to you, like, yo, your solo was way too quiet. Like, you guys can talk among the section, just don't, like, announce it to the whole orchestra. You're in the back, you can quietly say what it is you need to say in a couple of seconds so that it doesn't disrupt the whole rehearsal, but it will improve the quality of your output as a section. The last thing I'm gonna say about this is that getting to play principal clarinet is not only fun, it's not only an honor, it's a responsibility. And you probably got placed as first by one of two ways. Either you were a successful audition, meaning you prepared material, you played for a panel, and they decided you're good enough to handle the solos, you're proficient enough, you're a good leader, your sound is great, you're a great artist, I think you would be a great section leader, so we're going to have you play principal. The other way you can play principal is on a rotated seating system where everyone gets to play principal on a different piece. Or maybe you were second clarinet last time, so now this time is your opportunity to play first clarinet. Either way, when you're sitting in first chair, you have a huge responsibility, and it generally means that the conductor or whatever panel who decided on you being first clarinet thinks that you can handle the responsibility of being a section leader. So don't let them down. And don't let yourself down. Just set a good example, come prepared, and don't be a jerk. And above all, enjoy the role you get to play, because with great power comes great responsibility. And make sure you stop playing when the conductor cuts off. Alright, I hope that helped. If you have any other tips about playing first clarinet, please leave them below in the comments. And until next time, go practice. Okay, this is actually important. It's a boy.